Tasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksuran Militan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Kauravani Precharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're telling the activities or the travels of a cowherd boy from Vrindavan, from Govardhan, named Gopakumar, and how he's traveled into Vaikuntha and he met Narada Muni. And Narada Muni told him that there's another place in Vaikuntha which is very special, which is, first of all, there's a place called Ayodhya, and after Ayodhya there's another place called Dwaraka. And he thought it would be very good for Gopakumar to go there and see the worship, how the devotees worship the Lord in Ayodhya first of all, and then he could go on to Dwaraka. So in Ayodhya, Lord Ramachandra resides there, and he's worshipped he's there along with his consort, Mother Sita, and his brother Lakshman. So Gopakumar is told by Narada Muni, you go immediately, you don't need to wait. Lord Narayan already knows you're going to go there, and he's approved it, so you can just go. You don't need to get his permission. He's already left here also. Lord Narayan is not here, he went to visit somebody else, and he won't be back for a long time. So Gopakumar offered his obeisances to Narada Muni, and then he left, and he traveled for a long time, and after some distance he came to a place where there's some forest monkeys, and the monkeys were, like monkeys are, very restless. They jump around, and these monkeys were all shouting, Rama, Rama. And the monkeys tried to grab Gopakumar's flute. They wanted to take it from his hand.
这些猴子呢，还想把Gopakumar手中的笛子抓到自己的手中。
They didn't like anyone to be a devotee of anyone other than Lord Rama.
他们不喜欢别人成为就是主 Rama 的奉献者之外的别的奉献者。
So after seeing the monkeys, he walked further and then he met some humans and he saw they were also associates of Lord Ramachandra and they were very, very attractive in their features.
然后他又进一步往前走，在前面他遇到一些就是人类，他以为他们都是主 Ramachandra 的同游，然后他们这些人呢，他们的相貌呢特别的有吸引力。
And he was surprised that they seemed even more attractive than the residents of Vaikuntha.
Gopakumar 感到特别的惊讶，因为这些人的相貌呢，甚至超过了Vaikuntha居民的相貌的特征。
The people in Vaikuntha all had four-handed forms, and many of them had sarupya mukti. They had bodily features like Lord Narayan. But these people from Ayodhya were very special.
因为这些人他们都长着四臂。They have four arms, right?
Yes. And they had,
他们都有四臂的形象，他们已经得到了 sarupya 的解脱。因为他们的相貌呢，都长得就像 Narayana 那样，就是特殊的相貌。
and Gopakumar was respecting them, but they did not like it that he was respecting them.
Gopakumar 就彬彬有礼的向他们致以敬意，可是呢，这些人不喜欢Gopakumar 尊敬他们。
They didn't want to be honored. They didn't want any respect from Gopakumar.
他们不期望从Gopakumar那里得到任何的尊敬。
They were very, very humble.
他们都非常非常谦卑。
So they brought Gopakumar to the city. There was a gate, an entrance into the city, and they brought Gopakumar there to enter into the city.
他们就随后把Gopakumar带到了城门，然后就把他领进了城市。
So when Gopakumar got to the city, he was overwhelmed to see the city, and he could see all the devotees, all the associates of the Lord.
Gopakumar 他一进城就感到特别的激动，他见到了主的这些同游、这些奉献者们。
So they had to help him. Gopakumar was so overwhelmed with ecstasy, they had to help him practically carry him into the city.
Gopakumar 他感到如此的激动，所以这些人呢不得不得帮助他，因为Gopakumar非常的狂喜，所以这些人就扶着他走进了城。
So Gopakumar had to behave differently with the people here in Ayodhya, because in Vaikuntha he was showing a lot of respect to all the people in Vaikuntha because they all had four-armed forms. But when he came to Ayodhya, the people in Ayodhya, they wouldn't let Gopakumar respect them.
Gopakumar 在Ayodhya 呢，他的行为呢就跟在Vaikuntha的时候不一样，因为在Vaikuntha呢，他必须得特别的尊敬那里的居民，因为他们都有着四臂的形象。但是在Ayodhya，这些人不喜欢Gopakumar，对他们很尊敬。
It's the nature of the devotees of Lord Rama to be very humble and not to want any respect from others.
主 Rama 的奉 奉献者的本性就是非常的谦卑、谦和，他们不希望得到任何的尊敬。
Then he came in to more into the city, and in the center of the city he saw Lord Ramachandra's other brothers, Bharat with Shatrughna.
Gopakumar 就进了城，在城市中间，他见到了 Rama 的其他的两个弟弟 Bharat 和 Shatrughna。
But Gopakumar, when he saw Bharat, he thought this was Lord Ramachandra, but it was he's the brother, he's not Lord Ramachandra, but they look like each other.
Gopakumar 一见到 Bharat 就误以为是主 Ramachandra 本人，但是实际上他只是 Ramachandra 的弟弟，他们的长相呢非常的相似。
So when he saw Bharata, Gopakumar began to offer prayers, thinking he's Lord Rama. But when Bharat heard the prayers, he covered his ears and said, no, I'm only a servant.
Gopakumar 一见到 Bharat 就立刻开始被吟诵祷文，以为他就是 Ramachandra， 但是 Bharat 马上就用手堵住了自己的耳朵，说不，我只是他的仆人。
Because Bharat was sitting on a big seat, a big throne, and he was surrounded by many people. So it was easy for Gopakumar to make this mistake. And he looked just like Lord Rama.
Bharat 坐在一个宝座上，四周就围绕着很多的人，所以很容易就把他误以为是 Ramachandra， 而且他们的相貌非常的相似雷同。
So Bharat is actually, he's like the plenary portion of the Supreme Lord.
Bharat 相当于至尊主的全扩展。
And his wife is like the plenary portion of Lakshmi. And she looks just like Sita.
他的妻子就是 Lakshmi 的全扩展。 就是 Sita 的全扩展。
And the other brother, Shatrughna, he looked like Lakshman, who's the younger brother of Lord Ram.
另外一个 Ramachandra 另外一个弟弟 Bharat 还有另外一个兄弟 Shatrughna， 他也是主 Ramachandra 的弟弟。
So then Hanuman came forward, and Hanuman took Gopakumar more into the city to meet the Supreme Lord, Lord Rama.
Hanuman 就过来，就把 Ramachandra 带到了城里另一个地方去见至尊主 Ramachandra。
Sorry. So Lord Rama was sitting on a big throne, and it was just like he looked like Lord Narayan himself.
Ramachandra 坐在一个宝座上，就像 Narayan 本人一样。
And Gopakumar could see all the auspicious signs in the form of Lord Ramachandra.
Gopakumar 就在主 Ramachandra 身上可以见到许多吉祥的印记。
He had a very strong neck and strong arms.
他的就是颈项、脖子，非常的粗壮，他的臂膀也是强而有力的。
And he was young, he was not old.
他青春年少，他并不是一个老人的样子。
So everything about his features made him look like the Lord of Vaikuntha.
他身上的种种的特征呢，使他看上去就像百昆塔之主。
But there were some special features, like he had a bow in his hand.
但是他有一些特征、特点、独特的，就是比如他手上拿着弓。
And when he looked at people, he would look very humble and modest.
当他去看别人的时候，他的目光是非常的谦和的，非常的温文尔雅。
So he's even more attractive than Lord Narayan.
因此呢，他比主Narayan呢更加有魅力。
And he's very strict about following all the principles of the Vedic culture.
在遵守伟大文化的原则方面呢，他非常严格。
So when Gopakumar saw him, he was overwhelmed and he fainted he fell down.
Gopakumar 就见到他之后呢，他激动的就晕了过去，倒在了地上。
Somehow he was able to stand up, and when he stood up, he was able to see the Lord Ramachandra more clearly, and he could see all of his attractive features.
The servant helped him to stand up, right?
Yeah.
然后就有Ramachandra 的仆人就把他扶了起来。就当Gopakumar 站了起来之后，他能够更加清晰的能够去注视Ramachandra 的身体特征。
So Hanuman had been accompanying Gopakumar, but when they got there in front of Lord Ramachandra, then Hanuman jumped over to sit at the side of Lord Ramachandra.
Hanuman 呢，本来是跟Gopakumar 陪着他一起进城来见Ramachandra，但是见到Ramachandra之后，他就跳到了Ramachandra身边。
And on the left side of Lord Rama was his dear his consort Sita, and on the other side is the younger brother Lakshman.
Ramachandra 的左侧站着他最亲爱的伴侣 Sita， 在他的右侧站立着他弟弟 Lakshmana。
So this is the usual way in which we see Lord Ramachandra. When you see a picture of Lord Ramachandra will be there, and Sita on his left, and Lakshman on his right, and Hanuman kneeling at the side with his arms in, namaste, his palms together, waiting to be given some service.
一般呢，通常我们都会见到这样的图片，就是在主Ramachandra 的左侧是 Sita， 右侧是 Lakshman， 而 Hanuman 呢就跪在镜前，双手合十，向主Ramachandra 致敬，等待着得到他的服务。
It said Mother Sita is even more attractive than Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, and she's a very perfect consort for Lord Ramachandra.
据说 Sita 母亲比 Lakshmi 更加有吸引力，她是 Ramachandra 的完美的伴侣。
And Hanuman will he'll do different services. Sometimes he'll get the chamara and he will fan Lord Ramachandra, and at the same time he will sing about the glories of Lord Ramachandra.
Hanuman 会为 Ramachandra 做不同的服务，有的时候他就用这个拂尘为主 Ramachandra 扇凉，有的时候他唱着荣耀 Rama 的歌曲。
And Hanuman also can compose prayers describing the glories of Lord Rama, and he will sing these different prayers to Lord Rama.
有的时候 Hanuman 还会创作一些歌颂 Ramachandra 的荣耀的歌曲，并且大声地唱出来。
And sometimes Hanuman will be holding a white umbrella over the head of Lord Ramachandra, symbolizing that he is the great king.
有的时候 Hanuman 还会举着一把白伞撑在 Ramachandra 的头顶，象征着他是一位伟大的君王。
Another time he'll be massaging the feet of the Lord.
在别的时间，他会按摩主的莲花足。
So Gopakumar can do all of these services. He's got so much energy, and he never gets tired.
所以他的能量，他的精力充沛，他从来不疲倦。
So Gopakumar bows down to Lord Ramachandra and begins to praise him. And Lord Ramachandra sees Gopakumar and he encourages him, he speaks some kind words to him.
Gopakumar 就顶拜了 Ramachandra， 并且赞颂了他。Ramachandra 就用仁爱的话语来鼓励了 Gopakumar。
So Lord Ramachandra spoke to Gopakumar. He tells him, "Oh, my dear son of a cowherd, my best friend."
Ramachandra 就说：“我亲爱的牧牛郎之子啊，我最好的朋友。”
Lord Rama tells Gopakumar, "Because you have so much affection, you have conquered me. I'm conquered by you." He said, better you just relax and make me your friend.
Ramachandra 就对 Gopakumar 说：“你的爱征服了我，最好你放松下来，把我当做你最好的朋友。”
You've made me unhappy for a long time because you were not here. So I've been missing you for a long time.
你让我不快乐很长时间，因为你不在这里，你让我一直在想念你。
So the Lord Rama was congratulating Gopakumar that he had been able to come all the way to Ayodhya. He'd managed to get into the spiritual world. And from Vaikuntha he had come to Ayodhya. So Lord Ramachandra congratulates him.
Ramachandra 就祝贺了 Gopakumar 能够一路的来到了灵性世界，并且来到了 Ayodhya， 他向他表示祝贺。
But he doesn't like to see Gopakumar offer all the obeisances and offer prayers all the time. He wants Gopakumar to be a friend, to be an intimate friend.
但是他不喜欢看见 Gopakumar 顶拜他，向他献上祈祷。他希望 Gopakumar 就像朋友一样对待他。
So he tells Gopakumar, just stop all this respect. Just give me, I just want your pure love.
Ramachandra 就对他说道：“停止你的所有这些尊敬的彬彬有礼的礼节，我只希望得到你纯粹的爱。”
Lord Rama tells Gopakumar, I'm under your control. How can you give me so much respect? You're controlling me.
就 Ramachandra 告诉他：“我在你的控制之下，你怎么能这样来这么尊敬我呢？我受到了你的控制。”
So Lord Ramachandra tells Hanuman, and Hanuman comes and he brings Gopakumar over to where the Lord is sitting.
然后 Ramachandra 就让 Hanuman 把 Gopakumar 就带到了他的座位旁边。
Because Gopakumar is still offering prayers, he's still offering his obeisances. So Hanuman has to stop him physically.
因为 Gopakumar 他一直不停的在那里献上祷文，在那里不停的顶拜，所以呢，Hanuman 不得不就亲自动手，就阻止他这么做。
So Gopakumar was overwhelmed. He was getting so much mercy from Lord Rama. It was fulfilling all of his desires that he had. He could never imagine he could get so much mercy.
Gopakumar 他感到万 这么大的仁慈，这满足了长久以来的他的心愿。他从没想过会得到这么大的仁慈。
Gopakumar had travelled in the material world so many places, all to the higher planets, the highest planets, even Brahmaloka, and he'd come in the spiritual world and been to Vaikuntha, but he'd never felt the satisfaction which he felt in Ayodhya.
Gopakumar 就从物质世界旅行到了高等星宿，甚至到了 Brahmaloka， 进而他来到了Vaikuntha，甚至他来到了 Ayodhya， 他在 Ayodhya 感到的这种心满意足感受是别的地方从来没有感受到的。
So Gopakumar, still in the dress of a cowherd boy, still in the same clothes that he came with from Govardhan.
Gopakumar 还穿着他在勾尔丹山穿的同样的木牛童的衣服。
But still, when he was in Vaikuntha, he was allowed to fan Lord Narayan. And now he's come to Ayodhya, he's also being allowed to do some service for Lord Rama.
但是在Vaikuntha呢，他被允许能够做一些服务，为主 Narayan 的山梁；而在 Ayodhya， 他被允许也为主 Ramachandra 做服务。
Gopakumar was supposed to go to Dwaraka, but he came to Ayodhya. It was so attractive, he forgot about going to Ayodhya. He forgot about going to Dwaraka for some time.
Gopakumar 本来应该去 Dwaraka， 但是他在 Ayodhya， 他感到是这么被 Ayodhya 所吸引，所以他已经忘记了要去 Dwaraka 了。
He was seeing how the Supreme Personality of Godhead can act as the perfect king in the form of Lord Rama, and it was very attractive and very satisfying to his mind.
Gopakumar 见到主 Ramachandra 以一个完美国君的方式在那里行为举止，这非常吸引了他的心意，他感到非常满意。
But Gopakumar also saw that how Lord Ramachandra was very careful to follow all the rules and regulations of the scriptures.
与此同时 Gopakumar 也观察到了主 Rama 非常小心谨慎地遵守经典当中的规范原则。
So he was more careful about following the rules and regulations than he was thinking about the compassion for his devotee.
他比起给予他的奉献者的仁慈，他更加注重小心翼翼地遵守经典的所有规则。
So this is going to be the cause of some dissatisfaction for Gopakumar.
所以这就成为了 Gopakumar 有些许不满足的原因。
So although Gopakumar was really happy there in Ayodhya, he did not see the same kind of sweetness that he had seen in Vrindavan.
虽然 Gopakumar 在 Ayodhya 感到内心很快乐，但是他并没有感受到在Vrindavan 同样的甜美之情。
And there was special mercy in Vrindavan, which was not there in Ayodhya.
在 Vrindavan 有着 Ayodhya 不具备的特殊的仁慈。
So Gopakumar, actually, he is the devotee of Madan Gopal, right? Madan Gopal is the deity in Vrindavan.
Gopakumar 是 Madana Gopal 的奉献者，而 Madana Gopal 是 Vrindavan 的神像。
And there's certain pastimes which Madan Gopal has, which Lord Ramachandra does not have.
Madana Gopal 有一些特殊的小时光是主 Ramachandra 不具备的。
For example, Madan Gopal plays the flute. He's a cowherd boy, he can play the flute, and when he plays the flute, it attracts everyone, everybody goes mad.
比如说，马丹狗跑会吹奏笛子，那当他吹起笛子的时候，这个笛音是这么有吸引力，让所有的生物都为之疯狂。
And it would enchant the gopis in so many ways. Krishna's playing the flute, his music would attract the gopis.
当 Krishna 吹起笛音的时候，他的笛音会让 gopi 们为之着迷。
And sometimes in his meditation with Madan Gopal, Gopakumar there would be embraces. Madan Gopal would embrace Gopakumar. But this never happened with Lord Ramachandra. With Lord Ramachandra, everything is very formal.
在 Gopakumar 的冥想当中，马丹的 Gopa 会拥抱他，但是主 Ramachandra 跟他的交往当中，从来都是非常的正式的。
So therefore Gopakumar, although he's come to Ayodhya, he's not fully happy. There's still some dissatisfaction in his mind.
尽管 Gopakumar 身在 Ayodhya， 但是他并没有完全的感到心满意足，他的内心心意当中仍然有一些不满意。
But Hanuman is there, and Hanuman is always preaching the glories of Lord Ramachandra. And Lord Ramachandra is also there, and that's very powerful, the personal presence of the Lord. So it helps Gopakumar to stay there, to convince him that, he's okay there in Ayodhya.
Hanuman 就一直在传播着 Ramachandra 的荣耀，所以因为有主 Ramachandra 亲自就在 Ayodhya， 所以这就能够帮助 Gopakumar 能够待在 Ayodhya。
This feeling of unhappiness which Gopakumar has is due to his great love for Krishna, because he has pure love, so it's not ordinary.
这种不快是由于 Gopakumar 对于 Krishna 的巨大的爱，所以这就引起了他的一丝丝不满。
And Gopakumar would hear, when he heard about all the wonderful qualities of Lord Rama, he could understand that these qualities are also there in his own Madan Gopal.
当 Gopakumar 聆听到了主 Ramachandra 种种美妙的品质的时候，他意识到他所崇拜的 Madan Gopal 身上也具备这些品质。
But because Gopakumar had spent so much time in Vrindavan, sometimes, he would remember, he would think about the special pastimes and the special mercy in Vrindavan.
因为 Gopakumar 就在 Vrindavan 待过一段时间，所以他就一直记忆着 Vrindavan 的特殊的仁慈、特殊的消时光。
And when Hanuman saw how Gopakumar was like that, missing Vrindavan, then Hanuman would preach to him and would encourage him about Lord Ramachandra. He would say, Lord Ramachandra is not different from the Lord in Vrindavan.
Hanuman 看见 Gopakumar 就思念 Vrindavan， 就鼓励他 Ramachandra 跟 Vrindavan 之主没有不同。
Hanuman is very good in diplomacy, and he knew how to guide Gopakumar to try to keep him a devotee of Lord Ramachandra.
Hanuman 也是一个政治家，所以他了解该怎样指导 Gopakumar， 使他成为 Ramachandra 的奉献者。
So Hanuman was always convincing Gopakumar, you have to stay here, serve Lord Ramachandra. But Lord Rama, he knows the mind of everyone because he's in everyone's heart. So he knew what Gopakumar was thinking.
但是 Ramachandra 他在每个生物心中，每个人心中，所以他知道 Gopakumar 他的心里的所思所想。
So Lord Rama tells him, "You go to Dwaraka, be happy there."
Rama 就对他说道：“你去 Dwaraka， 你在那里变得快乐起来。”
So he told Gopakumar, "You go and Jambavan, the king of bears, he will go with you, help you on the path."
他说：“你跟 Jambavan 一起去那里 ，Jambavan 会在一路上帮助你。”
So Gopakumar wasn't going to go, he was going to stay there in Ayodhya, but Lord Rama personally told him, "You should go to Dwaraka."
Gopakumar 他并没有想去 Dwaraka， 主 Ramachandra 亲自告诉他，你要去 Dwaraka。
Lord Ramachandra knew that Gopakumar is a devotee of Madan Gopal, and he knew that he's very qualified to go to Dwaraka.
主 Ramachandra 深知 Gopakumar 是 Madan Gopal 的奉献者，他有资格去 Dwaraka。
So even though he got a lot of mercy from Hanuman and he experienced a lot of ecstasy in Ayodhya, but still he could not forget Madan Gopal.
即便 Gopakumar 得到了哈努曼的许许多多的仁慈，即便他在 Ayodhya 感受到了狂喜，但是他念念不忘 Madan Gopal。
So Lord Rama never usually sends anybody out of his kingdom, but this was a very special case, and he wanted Gopakumar to be happy. So he told him, "You should go to Dwaraka. You'll be happy there."
一般 Ramachandra 不会把任何人让他们离开自己的王国，但是这一个特殊的情况，他希望 Gopakumar 快乐，他希望他去 Dwaraka。
And Lord Rama told Jambavan to go with him, to take him there to Dwaraka. And Jambavan, his daughter Jambavati, was married to Lord Krishna.
Ramachandra 告诉 Jambavan 陪同他Gopakumar 一起去 Dwaraka。 因为 Jambavan 的女儿嫁给了 Krishna。
And from Krishna, they have the child Samba. So Jambavan is like the grandfather of Krishna's son, Samba.
而 Krishna 跟 Jambavan 的女儿生下了 Samba， 所以 Jambavan 就相当于 Samba 的祖父。
So it was a good match to because Gopakumar is a devotee of Krishna, so let Jambavan go with Gopakumar, take him to Dwaraka.
所以他们俩是一个很好的同伴，因为他们 Jambavan 有这层关系，所以他陪同 Gopakumar 去 Dwaraka 是非常合适的。
So when Gopakumar got to Dwaraka, then he saw all the different Yadavas there, all the people from the Yadu dynasty, all the people, they're all so many different Kshatriyas and they have their families, so there's so many children there.
Dwaraka 是完全不同的景象，在 Dwaraka Gopakumar 见到了那些 Yadava 亚度的族人，他们都是一些刹帝利，他们有各自的家庭，还有他们的子子孙孙。
These Yadus were completely free of all anxiety. They were just, they were just in ecstasy. They were just so happy.
这些亚 亚度族人呢，他们没有丝毫的焦虑，他们完全处在快乐狂喜中。
So Gopakumar begins to wander around, and he was amazed to see such wonderful situations, that the environment, everything, the place was so wonderful.
Gopakumar 就在Dwaraka呢，他漫游，他很惊讶的看到那些奇妙的景象，看到这些不同的地方，还有各个不同的环境。
And all the people there are also very, very handsome, very good looking, healthy. Everybody looks so nice.
那里的每个人相貌异常的英俊潇洒，相貌非常的俊美，一切都那么美好。
So when Gopakumar got there, he forgot everything. He forgot everything that was in his mind, and he began enjoying the company, and the people of the Yadavas, they were also very nice to him, and they would bring him, make him their friend, and embrace him.
Gopakumar 在那里已经忘记了一切了，他享受着这些亚度族人的陪伴，他们对待他就像自己的朋友，会深情的拥抱他。
Gopakumar was at first his intention was that he would offer his obeisances and respect them, but when he met them, he was so overwhelmed by them that he forgot, and the Yadavas just embraced him, and Gopakumar didn't bow down to them.
Gopakumar 的本意呢，是要向他们致以顶拜，献上自己的尊敬，但是呢，他们一见面。Gopakumar 就如此的激动，他就忘记了去顶拜他们，然后这些亚度族人就开始拥抱他，所以他们并没有行礼。
They knew that Gopakumar had come there, that he has to be looking for Krishna. They knew why he'd come there, because they're very great personalities. They can understand Gopakumar's purpose.
他们知道 Gopakumar 来 Dwaraka 是为了寻找 Krishna。这些人呢，全都是伟大的人物，他们就了解 Gopakumar 的心思。
And they could see Gopakumar must be from Govardhan. He's just like a cowherd boy. So they could understand, he's a very good devotee of Krishna. And so they had so much love for him. They showed a lot of affection for him. And they brought him into the city.
他们见到 Gopakumar 一身鹿儿丹山的母牛童的打扮，就知道他是 Krishna 的优秀奉献者，所以他们就对他满怀爱意，就热情地对待他，把他带进了城。
So in Dwaraka, they have a special hall which was built by Vishwakarma, the architect of the demigods.
在 Dwaraka 有一座议事大厅，是由半神人的建筑师 Vishwakarma 所建造。
So this hall is called Sudharma Assembly Hall, and Krishna will go there every day, sit there, and he will attend to all the affairs. You hear about all the news, what's going on in the kingdom and everywhere.
这座大厅的名字叫 Sudharma。Sudharma, the hall is called the Sudharma, right?
Yeah.
所以这大厅叫 Sudharma 聚会大厅。所以主 Krishna 呢，每天都会去这个大厅，坐在那里聆听给国家大事以及世界以及各地方的新闻。
So he could see the Supreme Lord sitting there on a big throne. The throne was very opulent, covered with gold and jewels. And the Lord was sitting there. It's a huge hall, big hall, with many people, and the Lord is there, sitting on the throne, very effulgent. So the Lord Krishna is sitting there and he's served by all the different opulences of Vaikuntha. Everything is there for his pleasure.
主 Krishna 坐在这个宝座上，就这个显示出了Vaikuntha的所有的富裕。
So many of this Lord of Dwaraka, he's the same. He's just like the Lord Narayan from Vaikuntha.
Dwaraka 之主就像Vaikuntha 之主 Narayana。
Just like Lord Narayan was sitting on the throne and chewing pan, so Krishna in Dwaraka is also doing that. He's sitting on a big throne and he's chewing pan.
正像Vaikuntha 之主坐在宝座上咀嚼着槟榔，所以 Krishna 同样也是坐在宝座上咀嚼着槟榔。
But Krishna has his own special ways to attract and to please all his devotees.
但是主 Krishna 有他自己独特的方式去吸引和取悦他所有众多的奉献者们。
And so just by his different gestures, he's able to be able to capture the hearts of all of his servants. They all love him so much.
他仅仅是通过他的不同的姿势姿态，就能够捕获他众多的仆人的心意，使得他们都如此深爱他。
Lord Krishna in Dwaraka is of course very beautiful, and he's young. He's when someone is young, then they look very nice.
主 Krishna 他的相貌英俊、青春、年少、风华正茂，因此使得他的一切看着都那么美好。
And this Krishna in Dwaraka, he's very innocent. He's like a child almost.
而且这位 Dwaraka 的主人 Krishna， 他看上去是那么的天真无邪，好像一个孩子一样。
So Krishna's devotees in Dwaraka, they enjoy seeing Lord Krishna all the time.
因此，在 Dwaraka Krishna 的所有奉献者都津津有味的能够享受，一直不断的能看见 Krishna。
People in Dwaraka, they usually see Krishna just with 2 arms.
Dwaraka 的居民通常是看见两臂的 Krishna，
But in Vaikuntha, Lord has 4 arms.
而在Vaikuntha那里的主人是有4臂。 So Gopakumar has difficulty to describe all the very intimate, affectionate dealings of the Lord of Dwaraka. 所以 Gopakumar 很难去形容Dwaraka 的居民，他们跟主之间的非常亲密的、满怀爱意的交流。
But above the head of Lord Krishna in Dwaraka is the white umbrella, again the symbol of the great king, powerful ruler. They always have the white umbrella.
在主 Krishna 的头上就撑着一把白伞，这白伞是伟大的君王、有力量的统治者的象征。
And at both sides, there are servants waving yak-tail fans.
在主 Krishna 的两边有仆人，他们在举着白色的犀牛尾毛做
And in front of Lord Krishna are his divine slippers. His slippers are put on a special seat and they're put in front of him.
在这 Krishna 面前是他的神圣的鞋子，就放在一个特殊的座位上。
So all around there was so much opulence, so much. There were many great kings. They'd all come there. There were many servants waiting to serve. Everything was so opulent.
在他的身边就环绕着那些国王们，他们都以仆人的身份来等着服务他，所以一切都显示着富裕。
All that opulence of Dwaraka is all spiritual because it's all for the pleasure of the Lord.
Dwaraka 的所有富裕全部都是灵性的富裕，因为这些都是为了取悦至尊主而存在。
And there were many different weapons also, which are all there, which are meant for the use of great kings.
那里还有不同的各式各样的武器，都是伟大的国王所使用的。
And the servants of the Lord, they were all very qualified servants. They all had been well trained and they knew how to give perfect service.
那里的仆人们全都是有资质的仆人，受过了良好的训练，都懂得如何献上优质的服务。
And the Lord has also, waiting to serve him, the Lord has his own chariot with its horses.
那里还至尊主还有他自己的马车、战车，战车上有马蹄。
And he has also the parijata flower, which he brought from heaven.
还有Krishna 从天堂拿来的 Parijatas 花。
And he has also all the personified arts of singing and dancing, all of these things, they're all there with Krishna.
还有艺术的人格化身在那里唱歌舞蹈为 Krishna。
The Lord has also his brother Balaram is there, his uncle Akrura is there, his father Vasudev and Devaki, and his own son Gada. They're all there.
还有主的哥哥巴拉 Rama， 他的舅舅 Akura， 以及他的爸爸 Vasudeva， 他的母亲 Devaki 和他的儿子 Gada 都在那里。
Satyaki is there. He's also one of intimate friends of Krishna.
还有 Krishna 的亲密的朋友 Satyaki。
And Ugrasena is the king. So Ugrasena is the king also, he's there.
乌戈森呢是君王君主，他也在那里。
And Krishna's gurus are there. Krishna's guru Sandipani and Garga Acharya or Garga Muni. They're both Krishna's gurus, so they're there.
还有 Krishna 本人的 Guru， Sandipani Muni 以及Garga Muni 都在那里。
And then there's people like Vikadru, who's like one of the ministers of Krishna, who helps Krishna in different situations. He's like an advisor of Krishna.
还有 Vikadru 就像就是类似于大臣，协助 Krishna 处理不同的事务。
And Kritavarma is there. He's also one of the associates of the Lord.
还有 Kritavarma， 他是主的同游之一。
He's the head of the army for Lord Krishna.
他是主 Krishna 军队的统帅。
So, And Narada Muni is also there, and he's amusing the Lord. He's keeping the Lord happy by entertaining him, by singing and saying different words and stories, keeping the Lord amused. And Garuda is there. Garuda is there offering prayers to the Lord. And Uddhava is also there. He's massaging the Lord's feet and speaking nice things, nice words to this Lord Krishna. Uddhava is Krishna's dearest friend in Dwaraka, so he gets to massage Krishna's feet. So because he has such a close relationship, he can say very private, very personal things to the Lord, which nobody can hear. And Uddhava is also a disciple of Brihaspati, so he's very learned, he's very intelligent, he knows how to speak very well. So he's a favorite advisor to Krishna. Krishna will ask Uddhava, what should we do in this situation? And then, so Lord Gopakumar, he's seeing everything from a distance, and so he saw with so much love that he fell unconscious. So when Gopakumar fell down, then the Lord told Uddhava, bring him forward, bring him. So Uddhava is very happy to see Gopakumar because he can see he's a cowherd boy. He's in the dress of the cowherd boy. He must have come from Govardhan. So he very carefully picked up Gopakumar and he brought him back to consciousness, and then he brought him to the side of Lord Krishna. And then the Lord wanted to pick up Gopakumar and put him by the side of the Lord. But Uddhava, he arranged to put Gopakumar's head on the lotus feet of the Lord. So Gopakumar had never had that mercy before. That was something very, very special. So the Lord of Dwaraka puts his lotus hand on the head of Gopakumar and strokes it. And then he takes the flute from Gopakumar, he takes his flute from it, and he looks at it. And it's almost like the Lord, when he looks at the flute, he almost starts crying.
Dwaraka 的主人呢，就用他的莲花手抚摸着 Gopakumar 的头，然后他又把 Gopakumar 身上带着笛子抽了出来，注视着这根笛子，这时候他几乎就要哭出声了。
So the Lord in Dwaraka, he's very conscious to try to show the right mood and to impress all the people and to show his loving concern for all the devotees. But when he sees the flute, it's too much for him, and it makes him feel that he remembers pastimes in Vrindavan, and it pains his heart.
主在 Dwaraka 呢，他是很小心的，他要有很小心的知觉着应该怎么做恰当的事情，并且去向他的奉献者表达他的爱意。可是他一见到这根笛子，这对他来说是已经超出了他的忍受范围。所以这让他想起了稳达文的种种消时光，他感到内心非常的难过。
Lord Krishna tries to control his feelings by speaking to Gopakumar, and he asks Gopakumar, "Are you okay? Is your health good? Is the place where you came from, is everything all right there?"
Krishna 呢，他努力的就控制着自己的感情，他就开始跟 Gopakumar 讲话。他问他，你的一切都好吗？你身体还健康吗？你所拜访的所到之处，那里一切都好吗？
But Uddhava saw that there were some symptoms in Krishna's body. There were tears in his eyes and choking of his voice. So Uddhava wants to try to keep Lord Krishna calm. He doesn't want him to get too much disturbed.
Uddhava 他就注意到了 Krishna 他的外在的特征发生了变化，有泪水从他的眼中流下，他的声音哽咽。Uddhava 呢就想让 Krishna 平静下来，不要那么激动。
So Krishna had become agitated by the questions he'd asked about Gopakumar's hometown, because he knew Gopakumar was from Vrindavan. So when Krishna was asking, "Is everything all right in your hometown, where you've come from?" this caused Krishna to become very agitated.
所以当 Krishna 向 Gopakumar 发问，询问他的家乡一切都安好吗？因为他知道 Gopakumar 是来自稳达文，所以这个问题呢，就让 Krishna 变得激动起来。
Actually, nothing inauspicious could come into Dwaraka in Vaikuntha, because it's in Vaikuntha, it's in the spiritual world. So there's nothing inauspicious there.
在 Dwaraka 不存在不吉祥，因为 Dwaraka 是处在灵性世界，在 Vaikuntha， 所以没有不吉祥的。
But inauspicious things can enter into Vrindavan and Dwaraka on earth. On earth it's different, it's not like the spiritual world.
但是，在地球上的稳达文，地球上的 Dwaraka 会有不吉祥的因素渗透进去，因为它并不像灵性世界。
And Krishna is always thinking about his place his place on earth. He doesn't think about the spiritual world.
所以 Krishna 想的是他在地球上的那个家乡，他并没有想到的，他没有想灵性世界的家乡。
But actually, the two abodes are not different. The one on the earth and the one in the spiritual world are not different.
但实际上呢，这两个地方，这两个居所是一样的，无论是地球上的还是灵性世界的这个居所。
So Uddhava shows to Lord Krishna all the people who are present with them. There's people like Vasudeva and different demigods and the Yadavas, and there's so many people, they're all there in front of Lord Krishna. So Uddhava doesn't want Lord Krishna to become too emotional.
这时候呢，乌德瓦就过来，就一一介绍，向主 Krishna 介绍在场的人物 Vasudeva， 所有的那些半神人们、亚度族人、亚德瓦们。他不希望主 Krishna 那么激动。
These people actually, they all reside on earth. When Krishna came to earth, they were also there to give enjoyment, to help Krishna to enjoy his pastimes.
这些人物呢，也都在当 Krishna 降临地球的时候，他们也一同去了地球上的居所，帮助 Krishna 享受他的消光。
They all come to Dwaraka within Vaikuntha. They're all staying in Dwaraka actually. They stay in Vaikuntha with the Lord there. But they went to the earth to be in his pastimes.
实际上，这些人呢，他们都在 Vaikuntha 上的 Dwaraka， 他们到地球上也随同主去地球帮助主。
So Krishna opened his eyes and he saw all the people. So he understood better that he will go into his inner chamber, not sit in the big room with all the people.
Krishna 呢，就睁开了眼睛，他明白他应该去他的内室，而不应该坐在这个大厅里。
He doesn't want to make a big show in front of all the people, so he's going to go into his own room.
他不希望在这个大厅里，在所有众人的面前，失态，所以他想回到自己的房间。
Okay, so we will stop here.
我们讲课就停在这里。
We'll continue next week. Any questions? Any questions?
Now there's no question coming in.
Oh, good. Okay.
Here's a question. 第一个是喜宝，顶拜咕噜和老师们，感恩咕噜今天带给我们这么美好的故事。我今天的问题是，在农村和一些老人简单讲那些 Krishna 的故事之后，发现他们一下记不住圣名，这种情况下就告诉他们 ，Krishna 是一切的源头，所有菩萨都是 Krishna 派来保护大家的奉献者。他们如果记不住圣名，可以试着真诚学习菩萨的平等慈悲、奉献、吃素、少聊是非、多念菩萨名字，不要忘记自己是神的孩子，不是这个躯体。请问咕噜是否可以这样先培养与人的信任度，等待永恒因缘成熟时候再把圣名判给他们呢？
Yeah, because they're old people, so it takes more time. You have to be patient, and it's a very new thing for them. So you have to be very patient and gradually introduce them to Krishna consciousness. 因为他们都是老人们，所以就需要时间。 and they don't have association. We don't have a temple there for them to see.
而且他们也缺乏联谊，我们在那里呢也没有庙宇可以让他们去庙里。
But if you can take a picture, put a picture of Krishna on their wall, and let them hear the kirtan, let them hear the chanting of the holy name, that will be very nice.
如果你能把 Krishna 的照片贴在墙上，让他们聆听到了 kirtan 圣名，对他们是有非常好的。
Yeah, we have to, usually we get people to chant in the kirtan first, and then from kirtan, then they learn how to do japa.
通常而言，我们是让人们先聆听 kirtan 唱诵，然后再逐步的介绍 japa 念诵。
Kirtan is very important, and prasadam, these two things are very, very important in the beginning, and they can help people to develop their devotion.
Kirtan 除了 kirtan 还有 prasadam， 在刚开始这两个事物是非常重要的，培养他们的奉爱。
So you make nice prasadam for them and offer it to Krishna and tell them this is food offered to Krishna, and then they also chant the holy name with them, and then this way they can develop some devotion.
您做出非常美味的 prasadam 供奉给 Krishna， 然后告诉他们这些都是供过 Krishna 的，然后陪着他们一起唱诵圣名，以这种方式逐步的发展他们的奉爱。
Devotion is in everyone's heart, but it just has to be awakened nicely.
奉爱在人人心中，但是需要很好的被唤醒。
We have to find out what's the best way to try to give them, to bring them to Krishna consciousness.
我们需要寻找把人们带到 Krishna 知觉的最佳方法。
So very nice prasadam is very important.
美味的 prasadam 至关重要。
Are you a good, I hope Sibao is a good cook. If you're a good cook, then it can be very good to bring people to Krishna consciousness.
我希望，不是说他希望您成为是一个很好的厨师，这样就能够把人们带到 Krishna 知觉。
下一个问题。
下一个，淡然一笑。在杜尔卡，乌格森的是国王还是 Krishna 是国王？In Dwaraka, who is the king? Krishna or Ugrasena?
Ugrasena is the king. Krishna is younger, much younger.
在 Dwaraka, Ugrasena 是国王，因为 Krishna 他很年轻。
So Krishna put Ugrasena on the throne, and Krishna, he helps. He's like, he assists Ugrasena.
Krishna 就让 Ugrasena 坐在就是君王的宝座上，而 Krishna 他协助 Ugrasena。
Ugrasena had to, he had to suffer Kamsa for a long time. And finally Krishna came and killed Kamsa.
就是 Kamsa 给 Ugrasena 带来了很大的痛苦，后来 Krishna 来了，就把 Ugrasena 从 Kamsa 的迫害之中解放出来。
So Krishna put Ugrasena on the throne because he was meant to be the king. Krishna came while Ugrasena was the king. Krishna appeared in the world when Ugrasena was already the king.
所以 Krishna 就让 Ugrasena 坐在了国王的宝座上。当 Krishna 降临地球的时候 ，Ugrasena 已经当了国王。
还有问题吗？
下一个，还有一个是 Sati Dasi。Dimad Gurudev 讲课中说，哈努曼一直极力劝说Gopakumar留在 Ayodhya 崇拜主 Rama。我们现实生活中也有这种情况，总觉得自己咕噜好，劝说新人认自己咕噜。请问咕噜对这种想服务自己咕噜对取悦咕噜的心态对吗
？Well, of course, every devotee has special affection for their own guru.
当然，每位奉献者对自己的咕噜都情有独钟。
But we shouldn't. But it's not the proper etiquette that we try to coerce people to accept our guru.
但是，我们不应该，就是总是说服别人来接受自己的咕噜，这不是一个正确的礼节。
Yeah, people should be given a choice. They should be given an opportunity to see other spiritual teachers and to hear from them.
人们应该有自己的选择权，他们应该得到机会来见到其他的灵性导师，聆听他们。
Certainly in the ISKCON disciple course, it's stressed that we should not make a point of trying to bring other people to our guru and thinking, oh, our guru is better than all the other gurus.
ISKCON 门徒课程中就强调了，我们不应该努力的把别人就带向自己的咕噜，觉得自己咕噜就胜过别的咕噜。
We should think that my guru is good for me. I don't know who will be the right guru for you, but you have your choice.
我们应该这样想，我的咕噜对我来说是再合适不过了，但是我不知道是不是适合你，你有自己的选择权。
So it's a very good point you brought up. It's nice you saw that point, which is made there in Brihad Bhagavatamrta, that Hanuman, he is telling, stay here, Lord Rama's great. But when Lord Ramachandra understood, Lord Ramachandra himself told Gopakumar, you go to Dwaraka.
所以你能看到这一点是非常好的。就在大国家法坛甘露这本书当中，哈努曼就希望Gopakumar留在Ayodhya成为 Ramachandra 的奉献者，但是 Ramachandra 本人他明白Gopakumar 的心思，他亲自告诉命令Gopakumar去Dwaraka。
So sometimes the spiritual master will personally direct a devotee. They will say, I'm not really I'm not the right, I think you'll be better to go to this other spiritual master, that I'm not really maybe so suited to be your spiritual master, and I think you do better if you approach this other person as your spiritual master.
所以有时候灵性导师会指点一位奉献者，告诉他，我认为你到我这里来是不合适的，你最好去别的灵性导师那里，我不适合你，您别的灵性导师，您去别的灵性导师更好，就是让别的人成为您的咕噜。
Just like I remember one time in Hong Kong, there was one Hong Kong lady coming, and she was approaching Tamal Krishna Goswami for initiation, but Tamal Krishna Goswami saw that this woman needs a lot of personal, going to take a lot of time, and she wants a lot of association, a lot of contact. That Tamal Krishna Maharaj didn't have the time, and he encouraged her that you go to Giridhari Swami and he will guide you.
我记得以前有这么一件事儿，就是在香港有一位女士就来找 Tamal Krishna Goswami 寻求他的托庇他，但是 Tamal Krishna Goswami 他认为自己他看到这位女士呢，她需要很多亲身的联谊，需要很多时间，需要跟那个领导师有接触，但是 Tamal Krishna Goswami 他觉得自己没有那么多的时间照顾她，所以他就鼓励这位女士去找别的二swami得到他的指导。
So Tamal Krishna Goswami, he had that kind of foresight that he understood the need of a person, and he could, direct them in the proper way.
Tamal Krishna Goswami 他就有这种远见卓识，他能够明白每个人的需求，所以他能够恰当的、正确的指导一个人。
And sometimes, people want to take initiation from a spiritual master who will never come to their place, they'll never see him, they'll never have contact with him, but somehow they want to take initiation from him.
还有一种情况就是，有的时候人们会想从一位灵性导师那里得到启迪，但是这位灵性导师他永远不会来这个地方，他永远不会跟这个跟他亲自的见面，也不会跟他有接触，但是这个人却想得到那个灵性导师的启迪。
So you can do that. Some people are very attached. No, I must have this person for my guru. I must have him for my guru. So you can do it, but you're going to have to get some instruction from somebody else.
你可以这么去做，因为有这种依附心，我必须让他当我的 guru， 但是你必须还得到另外一个人的训示。
So we don't encourage groupism. Like Hanuman, he wants everyone to be with Lord Rama. Lord Rama is the greatest. Lord Rama is the best. Yeah, Lord Rama is God. But Gopakumar wanted something else. And Lord Ramachandra understood. And so he told him, go to Dwaraka.
我们不鼓励人们就是有派系，有分别心、派系主义。Hanuman 呢，他认为 Ramachandra 是最好的。当然了 ，Rama 他是神，但是他知道 Gopakumar 他想要别的，他明白他的心思，所以他鼓励他去 Dwaraka。
Of course, after he'll get to Dwaraka, he still won't be satisfied, and he has to go to Vrindavan, he has to go to Goloka.
当然了，他去了 Dwaraka 之后，他仍然还没有完全的满意，他还需要去 Vrindavan 去 Goloka。
So that's for Gopakumar. It's not that everybody has to go to Goloka. Some of us will be very happy to be in Vaikuntha and to be serving the Lord in Vaikuntha.
那这个是针对 Gopakumar 本人了，不是人人都想去 Goloka 大文，有的就觉得去瓦昆塔能够去那里服务主，就已经心满意足了。
So we have to understand everyone has their own individual nature, and people should be intelligent to understand what is actually their need.
我们要明白，每个人都有他们的个性，所以应该有智慧，明白别人真正想要什么。
Okay.
下一个问题是还是洗澡。感恩咕噜，我就是不会做饭啊，请老师们帮我祈祷啊，希望我能做出美味的帕萨达。
Yeah, this is very important for you. You have to immediately begin to learn how to cook. It's very important.
这个是非常重要，你要立刻就开始学做饭，这个太重要了，做饭。
How will you serve Krishna if you cannot cook? You won't be able to invite Krishna to eat in your home unless you can cook.
那您怎么服务 Krishna 呢？您得邀请 Krishna 来你家吃饭呢。
This is a problem. We get people like this today, Kali Yuga. Women don't know how to cook. I don't know. How can a man marry you if you cannot cook? What's the good of a woman if she cannot cook?
在卡里年代呢，这是个问题，女人都不会做饭，就是我想不出来，哪个男人会愿意娶您，就是因为那个不会做饭，这有什么不会做饭的女人，她还有什么优点可言呢？
So it's not difficult to learn cooking. You just have to watch and you have to really want to learn.
做饭不难，就是您只需要去观察，然后想要去学会做饭。
Sometimes people will get recipes and you get the recipe and you follow the recipe and you get good result if you follow the recipe.
人们只需要找到菜谱，就按照这个菜谱去做，就会得到这个很美味的菜品。
So it's very important if you want somehow to get people to interested in Krishna consciousness, that if you cannot cook, if you cannot give them nice prasadam, then it will be very difficult to bring people to Krishna consciousness.
所以这是非常重要的，要让人们对 Krishna 知觉感兴趣的话，就得学会做美味可口的 prasad， 否则的话，要让人们接受 Krishna 知觉非常困难。
Okay. You can contact. There's some devotees in Nanning, and they're putting some cooking demonstrations online for people to show people how to cook. So you can watch their cooking demonstrations. They teach how to cook.
您可以，就是说，您可以联系南宁的奉献者，他们就做的那个线上的演示，怎么去烹饪的演示，您可以从线上，就是从南宁奉献那里学习。
I've told many devotees we need to have cooking classes. We should organize vegetarian cooking classes and let people learn how to cook.
我告诉过很多的，不是说告诉过很多的奉献者，他们应该开办那个
In Hong Kong, we have one Mataji there, Siromani. She teaches cooking classes in Hong Kong, and she's very expert. You should contact Hong Kong and encourage them to make some videos, and you can put them online in China to show people how to cook.
在香港庙有一位妈达基叫持佑玛尼，他是在香港就是教人们怎么去做饭做素食，他特别擅长，所以您应该联系香港，然后从他那里得到那个视频，然后在网上呢教中国人怎么做饭，做好吃的。
OK， 还有问题吗？
还有一个是开心。感恩咕噜翻译和主持人顶拜你们。请问咕噜，大国家瓦坛是讲Gopakumar从物质世界到灵性世界的过程吗？
Yes. The Gochang什么意思？
过程 the process.
Oh. Yes. Well, no, not so much the process, but what we're learning is the nature of each of these places. We're hearing about what is the mood and what is the atmosphere and the behavior and the activities in each of these different places, and what different places there are. We need to know what different places there are in the spiritual world.
不是过程，而是就是每个地方的本性，就是每个地方的心态，人们的心态和那个地方的氛围，以及那个当地人的行为举止，以及就是在灵性世界都有哪些地方。
First of all, he went to all the different higher planets, higher regions in the material world, and we heard about the life there and the practices they do there, what happens there.
首先，我们听到了，就是他去物质世界的高等区域，在那里呢，他遇见一些人，这些高等区域的人们，他们的修习，他们是怎么生活的？
And we're hearing about what different regions there are in the spiritual world, and what kind of qualities we can expect to cultivate in these different places.
接着呢，我们又聆听到了，在灵性世界都有哪些区域？这些区域生活在这区域的人们，他们的品质是什么样的？
We heard about Vaikuntha, then we came to Ayodhya, now going to Dwaraka. We're hearing what is the mood there, what are the differences in each of these places.
然后接着呢，我们又聆听到了Vaikuntha，然后Ayodhya以及Dwaraka这些地方的居民的心态，以及这些地方的不同区别在哪里？ 下一个还是淡然一笑的。博伽瓦坛是Shukadev Goswami 讲述的，大博伽瓦坛是 Parikshit 大君讲述的，是吗？
Yes, Sukadeva Goswami had spoken the Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit. So Maharaj Parikshit had heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. And then his mother Uttara came and she asked Maharaj Parikshit, what did you learn? What were the important things you learned from Sukadeva Goswami?
是的，Shukadev Goswami 向 Parikshit 大君讲述圣典博伽瓦坛。 向 Parikshit 大君询问，你从 Shukadeva Goswami 那里学到了什么重要的？
Actually, Uttara is, yeah, the mother, right. So Uttara just asked Maharaj Parikshit, just give me the essence of what you learned from Shukadeva Goswami, because she knew that Maharaj Parikshit didn't have long to live.
所以 Uttara 母亲就请求 Parikshit 大君告诉他，从 Shukadeva Goswami 那里学到的精髓，因为 Parikshit 大君在世时间已经不长了。
So Parikshit spoke this Bhagavatam. Brihad Bhagavatam, yeah.
就这样子 ，Parikshit 大君就讲述了这部大国家瓦堪甘露。The next one.
Yeah.
下一个问题是来自于玉飞马达奇，感恩 Guru。我的问题是看到内心有很多的不洁、自私以及自我中心、嫉妒、愤怒，我如何去做才能不去影响、伤害到其他人呢 ？Guru 感恩。 I saw in my heart there are so many anartha, uncleanliness, selfishness, self-centered, and enviness, anger. What should I do? How can I do to avoid influence and hurt others?
Well, the chanting of the holy name is very powerful. And if we chant the holy name very intensely and faithfully, regularly, then it will help us to cleanse the heart.
唱诵圣名是非常有力量的。我们要怎么唱诵呢？去专心的，就怀着信心的，有规律的去念唱诵，这能帮助我们清洁内心。
You have to have good association. You have to hear regularly Krishna Katha. And you have to regulate your life. You have to be regulated in your life. Regulated. You should try to wake early in the morning. And you should practice, in the morning you must practice regular chanting and hearing for several hours every morning.
您要有好的联谊，有规律的聆听 Krishna Katha、Krishna 的话题，并且规范自己的生活。清晨早起，去灵修，有规律的唱诵、聆听，就是早上好几个小时的都去这样去做。
You have to devote some time to these activities. And then you can gradually change. You can clean your heart.
您需要拿出一部分时间来从事这些活动，逐渐的呢，就能改变你的内心了。
We have many courses which are also available online, where devotees study the scriptures. It's very good if you can also take part in that.
我们还有一些线上的课程，就是学习经典。如果您能参加 这个课程对您很有好处。
You have to put some effort into learning the science of Krishna consciousness. And this way, gradually, you will get control over your mind and senses and give up bad habits.
您需要付出努力，学习 Krishna 知觉这门科学，从而控制心意、感官，放弃不良习惯。
You have to strictly practice 4 principles, like no meat, fish and eggs, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex.
您需要去严格的遵守4项规范原则：不食鱼肉蛋，不赌博，不服麻醉品，没有非法的性生活。
And using every spare moment of your time to chant the holy name, to chant the Maha Mantra. And even when you're busy doing other things, you try to also chant the Maha Mantra.
用每一分闲暇时间拿来念诵 Maha Mantra， 即便您忙碌的时候，也要同时唱诵 Maha Mantra。
Can you do these things?
顾如问您能做到这些事吗？ The next one.
Yeah.
我们先来看下一个，淡然一笑还是淡然一笑？最近在网上，一些年长奉献者因为 BBT 的事情陷入争吵，影响了我的朋友对 Krishna 知觉的信心。怎么鼓励他呢？ Recently, on the internet, some senior devotees involved quarreling concerning the issue of BBT. So this influenced my friend, prevent her from getting faith to Krishna consciousness, have faith in Krishna consciousness. How can I encourage her?
Well, encourage her not to get involved in the management and not to get involved in all the affairs which devotees discuss. Encourage her just to absorb herself in Krishna consciousness activities like hearing and chanting and discussing the scriptures. Tell her to stay away from all the management.
鼓励您的朋友不要卷入管理事务。当奉献者，do not involve in management, the affair of management, and do not involve in the discussion, right?
Yeah.
不要卷入这个管理事务，也不要卷入这个讨论，只要去专注于 Krishna 知觉的话题，去聆听、唱诵、讨论经典，要远离管理。
The Krishna conscious process is very good. Just try to apply the principles of hearing and chanting and remembering Krishna.
Krishna 知觉的程序是非常好的，只要去专注于这个聆听、唱诵、意念 Krishna 的程序。
So do more kirtan and practice your cooking and be a good cook and make nice prasadam.
抽出时间 kirtan， 去好好的练习怎么做饭，去做出美味可口的 prasad。
Some of the Chinese ladies who are staying here in Mayapur are becoming very expert cooks. They're cooking very nicely. So these activities are more important. Don't get involved in all the politics and the management. Stay away from that. Just concentrate on pure devotional service.
所以这些才是非常重要的事情，不要卷入政治，不要卷入管理，要远离他们，只要专注于纯粹的奉献服务。
Okay, 下一个问题。
下一个是 Sita Rani 对 Darcy， 礼拜咕噜，感恩聚会奉献者啊，请问 Sita 母亲和 Lakshmi 女神有什么区别？
Sita is the consort of Lord Ramachandra.
Sita 是主 Ramachandra 的伴侣。
And Lakshmi is the consort of Lord Narayan.
Lakshmi 是主 Narayana 的伴侣。
Mother Sita goes with Lord Ramachandra everywhere. When he went to the forest, Sita also went with him.
无论主 Ramachandra 去哪里 ，Sita 就会如影随形，一起跟随着。当主 Ramachandra 去森林 ，Sita 也一起去。
Lakshmi, she sometimes goes to Vrindavan to do austerities, to try to join Rasa Leela.
Lakshmi 女神有时候去文达文去苦行，想要加入 Rasa 之舞。
But Lord Krishna told her it's not possible for her to come in Rasa Leela.
但是主 Krishna 告诉 Lakshmi， 她不可能进入到 Rasa 之舞。
But she resides on the chest of Lord Narayan.
但是 Lakshmi 女神她居住在主 Narayan 的胸膛。 下一个问题是来自于 Shama Saki Devidasi。 Hare Krishna 礼拜 Gurudev 和所有奉献者。我的问题是 ，Krishna 向 Arjuna 讲述的不加放歌和给予 Uddhava 的教导很相似，是有更机密的区分吗？ It's a confidential distinction difference.
Well, yes, you could say that. I mean, certainly many things are similar. The same things was discussed in the Bhagavad Gita is there in the 11th canto in the Uddhava Gita. Very similar. But more detail in the 11th canto. Goes more deeper.
You mean Bhagavad Gita chapter 11?
No, 11th canto Bhagavatam.
Okay.
Uddhava Gita is the 11th canto Bhagavatam. So what's in the 11th canto Bhagavatam is similar to what's in the Bhagavad Gita.
就是圣典国家法坛第11篇当中的 Uddhava Gita 和国家梵歌有很多相似之处，但是细节不同。
There's more detail in the 11th canto Bhagavatam.
国家法坛第11篇呢，就是更详细。
We need to read both.
我们需要阅读这两部书，我们都需要阅读。
Uddhava was given instructions by Lord Krishna before Lord Krishna left the world.
在主 Krishna 离开地球之前，他教导了 Uddhava。
So preparing Uddhava for his departure.
他让乌德瓦做好离开的准备。
Uddhava wanted to go with Krishna, but Krishna told him, no, you just have to stay here for some time.
乌德瓦想要跟 Krishna 一起离开，但是 Krishna 不允许，告诉他还要在地球上再停留一段时间。
So later on then Uddhava gave knowledge to Vidura.
后来乌德瓦就把知识传授给了维杜拉。
Okay, any other question?
It's two more questions.
Yes, Panchatattva.
潘达达顶拜玛拉和所有奉献者，大国家法坛里的格瓦库马尔消失光对现代社会的初级奉献者有什么启示？
Well, for the new devotee, they can learn about the higher planets in the universe, and they can learn also about the spiritual world.
对于新奉献者，他们可以学习了解宇宙的高等星系，以及学习到灵性世界的知识。
We have to understand there's so much variety there in the spiritual world.
我们需要明白，在灵性世界是多姿多彩的。
Some people think there's only light in the spiritual world. They think there's only the Brahman. They don't know about the different planets and the different forms of the Lord and the different rasas, different moods.
有的人他们以为，灵世界就是白茫茫的一片光，就是 Brahman。他们并不了解灵世界的各个星球、主的形体、不同的 rasa、不同的情感、不同的心态。
So when we think about going back to Godhead, we want to know where we're going. Which place are we going? What's it going to be like?
所以，当我们想着回归神手的时候，我们应该知道自己应该想要去哪里，去哪个星球，我们自己应该目的地是哪里。
So even new devotees, they can become interested, they can become inspired to learn more about Krishna consciousness by hearing all of this information, because it's not told anywhere else. Nowhere else. You'll never hear these things from anybody else. So it's something very new.
所以新的人呢，他们就会感兴趣，受到激励，去了解 Krishna 世界当中的这么多的信息，因为在别的地方，别的人他是不可能知道的，这对于别的人来讲也都是全新的信息。
So people, if they're actually interested in knowledge and philosophy, then they can find a lot of information here.
所以，对于知识、对于哲学很感兴趣的人，可以获取大量的信息。
Hearing about the different moods, the different relationships or rasas which are there, and how everyone has a particular rasa, and how we have to find that proper place which is best suited according to our rasa.
去聆听到了种种不同的关系，不同的心态，就是因为人人都有特定的关系，他应该找到这个最适合他的地方，最适合他的个人的关系的地方。
For Hanuman has to be with Lord Rama. He's naturally very happy there with Lord Rama. He thinks that's the best place.
对于哈努曼来说呢，主 Rama， 是最适合他的主人。他跟主 Rama 在一起
not the same for everyone.
但不是人人都一样。
So we want to know what are the other places.
我们也要对其他的地方对这一二。
Okay.
下一个问题是一个短问题。卡提亚尼哈 Krishna 感恩 Guru， 请问 Krishna 有 Krishna 图片的念珠袋不能清洗吗？
不能清洗。
Yeah, we cannot wash the japa bead bag that have Krishna's picture on the bag.
No, you can wash it.
可以清洗。
Just like Krishna takes a bath, Mother Yashoda will wash Krishna.
像 Krishna 他也要沐浴啊，亚瑟的妈妈会给 Krishna 沐浴。
So why not wash Krishna's big bag?
那为什么念珠袋上就不能清洗呢？
Oh, you can wash it, okay.
没问题，可以。
Keep the big bag clean.
要保持念珠袋干净。
When Krishna's on the big bag, Krishna will be happy.
这样就在念珠袋上的 Krishna 就会感到很开心。
Okay?
最后一个是唱出了 Devadasi。 Hare Krishna 顶拜，Guru Dev 请接受卑微的顶拜。我们总讲想要灵性进步，请问 Guru， 灵性进步指什么？如何知道自己有没有灵性进步呢？感恩 Guru。
Okay, so spiritual advancement means that we become more attached, more absorbed in devotional service, and we have less material desires.
灵性进步意味着我们更多的依附，更多的专注于奉爱服务，有更少的物质欲望。
As we become more attached to Krishna, we should become less attached to Maya.
随着我们更加的依附 Krishna， 我们就会越少的依附 Maya。
So spiritual advancement is understood by how much we're becoming absorbed and attached to our devotional service. When we're very eager and enthusiastic for our devotional service, this is a sign that we're advancing.
当我们依附、专注于奉爱服务的时候，可以明白就取得灵性进步。当我们非常渴望、热切的、满腔热情的从事奉献服务的时候，这是灵性进步的一个征兆。
And when we're becoming lazy and not enthusiastic, then this is a sign that we're having some spiritual difficulty.
当我们变得懒惰、缺乏热情的时候，这就是我们在灵性上遇到困难的迹象了。
So when we have spiritual difficulty, we have to try to either increase our own spiritual practice or take the shelter of a senior Vaishnava, somebody who can help us to overcome the difficulty.
当我们在灵性上遇到困难的时候，我们要么是增加自己的灵修，要么是托比于年长的 Vaishnava。年长 Vaishnava 可以帮助我们克服灵性困难。
So just like when you eat food, you know when you're satisfied, you know you feel the effects when you're eating food. You feel relief from hunger, you feel nourishment and satisfaction. And you go on eating, you come to a point you're fully satisfied, you don't want to eat anymore.
这就好像进食的过程一样，当我们就是进食的时候，我们感到越来越满足，就不再饥饿了。就随着我们的进食吃东西的过程当中呢，我们就得到了满意，我们就已经不饿了。
So it is with devotional service, that as we go on doing devotional service, we should feel detachment from the material. We should feel less anxiety and less stress from the material commitments, and we should feel more pleasure in our devotional activities.
随着我们继续做服务，我们就变得不依附物质，不再焦虑，免除了压力，而且变得在奉爱服务当中感到快乐。
A devotional service doesn't mean we should become neglectful about our material responsibilities.
奉爱服务并不等于我们要忽视自己的物质职责。
You have a family or you have a job, you should do these things very well, very carefully. Everybody should appreciate your service attitude.
你有自己的家，有自己的工作，所以要很好的小心谨慎的从事这些工作，让别人呢就会欣赏我们的服务。
So making advancement means that we're not only just spiritual, but also we're very careful to make a success of our material life also.
进步就不是仅仅的局限于灵性上的，进步也意味着就是我们的物质生活也是成功的。
And success doesn't mean that just that you make a lot of money, but it means people are satisfied and they appreciate your service.
成功并不是说我们赚很多钱，而是指人们就对我们的服务感到满意，赞赏我们的服务。
So we have to balance the material and the spiritual. That's also important.
我们必须要在物质和灵性二者之间保持平衡，这也是至关重要的。
So you have to be very careful trying to make advancement, spiritual advancement. It's good, but don't be neglectful about your material duties.
所以您需要谨慎，要得到灵性的进步，但是也不能忽视自己的物质职责。
So an advanced devotee, somebody who's advanced, they will keep everything they will be very careful to do their material duties very nicely and keep everyone happy, and at the same time they can do their spiritual duties.
所以，一个进步的人，他们会很小心谨慎地履行自己的物质职责，让人人都感到快乐。同时，他们也会履行自己的灵性职责。
All right?
Hare Krishna, good day. 今天我看时间现在已经超过9点了，因为我们后面还有3、4个问题吧，但是我想今天我们就到这儿吧，然后后面的问题下次再回答，可以吧？
OK， 可以。
好，感恩 Guru。
OK， 感谢你们，感谢萨提主持，感谢 Guru Mani 给我们全台的翻译，感谢所有的奉献者聆听。我们下个星期回答其他的问题。希望你们好好念诵，遵守规范，做好修行。那我们快到 Govardhan Puja， 还有 Prabhupada 延吉日，你们准备好。对，希望你们有他们的日快乐。Hare Krishna。Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Gaur Premanand